So over the last 2 weeks, I've been consistently asked these two questions. Number one, are rising interest rates going to slow down the housing market? And question number two is, how much higher can prices realistically go before we see a market crash or a leveling off? I mean, this can't last forever, right? Well, I have my opinions, and I'm also going to show you some live data that supports my thoughts as to why this train isn't slowing down anytime soon. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to show you several examples of just how much people are paying over asking price to get into a house in this crazy market. And we're going to break it all down right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is about living, working, and playing in Charlotte, North Carolina, then subscribe below and click the bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about everything that is happening in the Charlotte real estate market. My name is Brian Taylor and I'm the owner of Dreamline Realty. My team and I are passionate about helping people make Charlotte their home, and we get calls, emails, and texts every single week from people just like you that are looking to make their move to the Queen City or already live here looking to buy a house. So whether you're moving in 2 weeks or 2 years, we'll be ready to go when the time is right for you. Just give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or better yet, schedule a Zoom call with us so we can get familiar with your situation, help you put a good game plan together, and help you make a smooth move to Charlotte. And there's a link in the description below that will take you to our calendar. Okay, so the first question is, are rising interest rates going to slow down the housing market? And with confidence, I can say no, that will not happen, at least not in the short term. And why do I say that? Well, interest rates have gone up significantly over the last 6 weeks, and we've seen absolutely no effect to buyer demand. In fact, it's actually pushed people to become more aggressive in their home search and the offers that they're making on these houses. And the challenge right now in the real estate market isn't rising interest rates, it's still the lack of inventory. And if we look at new listings in February, we are down 11.8% from a year ago. And what that pretty much means is what we've been saying for the last 2 years, right? Buyers have fewer choices than they've ever had before, and the goal of simply finding a house outweighs the importance of a lower interest rate. And a well-qualified buyer in the market today is willing to sacrifice a higher monthly payment due to rising rates versus going without a house, or worse yet, entering into the rental market. So even with interest rates rising, it is still cheaper to buy a house right now than it is to rent in most cases. Now, I do, however, think that there will be a time when interest rates could come into play, but I don't think we're going to see the impact of that until interest rates cross over that 5 to 5.5% mark, and time will tell if that's even going to be enough to slow things down. So it certainly will have the most impact for first-time buyers, but in my opinion, it all comes down to how many new listings come on the market to help level out the supply and demand problem. Okay, so the next question is, how much higher can prices realistically go before we see a market crash or a leveling off? And this is a great question, and I have to be honest, I'm asking myself the same exact thing. In the 19 years I've been selling real estate, I've never seen anything like what we've been experiencing today. Now, all markets correct themselves at some point, but I don't see anything that speaks to me loud and clear that there's an end in sight right here. So when we look at the average sales price in February sitting at $407,812, which is up 19.6% from just a year ago. And then if you look at the average sales price 2 years ago in 2020, when it was $304,792, that's a huge jump of $103,000 in just 2 years. So we all have to wonder how long we can ride this out. Now, not to beat a dead horse, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to a low supply of inventory versus a massive demand of buyers. And until we get that supply and demand economics piece in a better position, I think we're going to see this type of appreciation for a good while, even if interest rates continue to rise. So with that said, I want to show you some data that I pulled for several different areas in and around Charlotte. And this data that I'm going to show you are the closed homes within just the last 10 days. And I want you to see what these houses were listed for and what they actually sold for. Okay, so I want to show you some live data now. Well, like I mentioned, these are the last 10 days worth of closings in and around the Charlotte area. I've got places like Huntersville, I've got places like Charlotte, Concord, Matthews, Mint Hill, in here in Harrisburg. So let me just go back to the top. I'm not going to go through every single one of these with you, but I want to give you an idea of what's going on out there in the market. And like I said, this has not changed at all in the last probably 18 months. In fact, it's getting more and more aggressive than it was even 90 days ago. So obviously you can tell I've got property addresses here where these properties are located, and you can see the list price of some of these properties right here, and then what they sold for over here, and then the difference that between the sales price and the list price. So the difference column is how much over asking price people are still paying for these houses to get into them and compete with 8 to 25 other offers on these houses. So we're seeing a lot of stuff fall in that $20,000 to $30,000 price range. That's pretty typical for what we're seeing, but we certainly have some outliers in here. So you know, $30,000, $25,000. Here's one for $75,000 over asking price. And I'll just kind of take you down through here and show you some of these other ones. We've got $41,100 over, $80,000 over, $55,000 over, $77,000 over, $57,000. So you get the idea here. Like I said, I'm not going to go through all these with you, but I'll just kind of slowly scroll through. But you can see just the competitiveness out here in the market is just insane. Now, these are not all of the sales. Let's be realistic about this, right? So there are plenty of sales that are selling for list price. There are several sales that are selling for under list price, but the ones that are selling for under list price, guys, have been on the market for 25 to 40 or even longer than that. So obviously those sellers are gonna get below what they listed for. But the majority of properties that are in a good area, in a good location, in a good school system, sometimes near highways, interstates, all of the stuff that makes a neighborhood really, really appealing and where these properties are located, it is going to be a bidding war almost every single time. Most cases we're seeing in those properties that I just described to you, those locations priced right, we're gonna be seeing anywhere from 5 to 15 offers. And it's just competitive. So just wanted to give you a glimpse of what this looks like, still dealing with this in this market. So there you go. That's kind of what's been happening, and I don't expect this at all to change anytime soon. So as you can see, with the buyer demand being so high, people are willing to pay more for a house just to have the best chance of winning an offer. And the people that closed on these houses likely didn't put much thought at all into what the interest rates were. But as I always say, time will tell how we'll have to navigate this market moving forward. So thanks for watching this video, and if you have any questions about your personal situation, I'd love to have a conversation about how my team and I can best help you out. Just give us a call, shoot us a text, or schedule a Zoom call with me so we can put a face to a name and put a really good strategy in place for you, or simply just answer any questions that you might have. Also, you may want to check out this webinar that I did where we go deep into what we call the big squeeze and why right now is the best time to buy a house. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so now, and then click that bell for notifications so you don't miss out when we put out new videos every single week. Thanks for watching. Make it a great day.